Iraq's first election since U.S. combat troops pulled out is being overshadowed by attacks. Reports of blocs and mortar fire near polling stations are mounting at the end of a campaign that's seen a spike in violence in recent weeks. With more than a dozen candidates assassinated and sectarian tensions rising, it doesn't look like the new beginning many hope for, as Kafanov reports from Baghdad.
There's been about a dozen small explosions in northern cities in Iraq in 3 different areas, as well as several rounds of mortar fire that have landed in several cities, targeting polling stations south of Baghdad. We're hearing that there have been injuries, but no casualties confirmed as of yet. Now, this comes amid incredibly tight security restrictions here all across Iraq. Even getting to the studios here in Baghdad, we had to pass multiple checkpoints. And what these attacks indicate is that despite these security restrictions, determined insurgents are still able to carry out waves of violence. And of course, this comes on the heels of numerous attacks that have rocked Iraq in recent months and weeks. Now, what we're hearing from voters here is that the corruption is really the #1 concern. They feel that if corruption was addressed, then these kinds of attacks wouldn't really be taking place so much. While most of them have been blamed on the insurgency, the revived insurgency of al-Qaeda in Iraq, it's clear by talking to voters that there are plenty of other parties and political interests that are vested in this wave of violence. We do know that elections have been postponed in a third of Iraq's provinces, including the controversial Anbar province, where large-scale Sunni demonstrations have been taking place over the past 3 months against this government. We here at RT had a chance to get into Fallujah. It was a very difficult journey, despite the roadblocks, despite a ban on journalists to actually enter the area. But we wanted to find out what the people there had to say about these elections and about the situation in Iraq today. And let's play you that report right now. This is rather a dangerous area for me. That's why I'm dressed like this. I'm trying to not attract as much attention. Foreign journalists have been banned from covering these protests, from entering the Anbar province altogether. And al-Qaeda elements are still here. In fact, among the crowds, you'll see some black flags later on when we go into the crowd, which have been associated with al-Qaeda groups. Now, the protesters have been demanding more equality. They feel like they've been discriminated by the Shiite-led government of Nouri al-Maliki. They want a change in power, in politics. They want more rights, they want more equality. They also want a different political system. Now, the Anbar province, Fallujah, of course, has been the heart of the insurgency and the war. Now it's the heart of the anti-government protests, perhaps a fault line of sorts that threatens to divide Iraq. So let's go in and talk to some of the people.
We don't believe in this election. We don't believe in it. Because it's sectarian. Who are we going to vote for? All the candidates follow the government. The system is unjust, which is why we are uprising here. We are demanding change to the constitution and this government.
These people will not be turning out to vote for Saturday's provincial elections. It's the first election since Americans have left from the country in December of 2011. The government has postponed elections in several Sunni provinces, the Anbar province, where we're located right now, as well as the Nineveh province. The government says this is because of security, and indeed, attacks have been escalating over the past weeks and months. But most of the Iraqis that you speak to here say that this is not the case. It's politically motivated. Of course, the recent weeks have proven to set a bloody backdrop to the elections. Numerous attacks all across the country have killed scores of civilians. There have been political assassinations of candidates running for office. Political gatherings have been targeted. On Thursday, a car bomb took place in Baghdad, in a largely Sunni area, in a cafe, internet shop where a lot of young people tended to go out. It's a situation that's reflective of the state of Iraq today. A country that has been torn apart by war, but doesn't seem to be any closer to healing the wounds and the divisions that have been unleashed during that occupation.